afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Hero Strike, Defender of the Fatherland. Off here to an exciting 1 versus 1 on Arnhem Checkpoint. Between the north, we got Fortune fighting for Germany, Deutschland, das Vaterland, rolling out here with the 2nd Panzer Division. West and south, we got Forest fighting for America, freedom and democracy, taking on the role of the 100th Infantry Division, tasked with clearing out the Krauts fast and swiftly. Fortune of the Jaeger Infantry Joint Operations Mobile Defense with Ostwaldman Infantry Bulletins versus 4S's Rifle Company, Infantry Company, and Heavy Cavalry Triple Infantry. We got a Grenadier MD42 start there, certainly. Well, I mean, could go anywhere really. Though with Ostwaldman, maybe he might go. Oh, Ostwaldman Mobile Defense with the Ostwaldman Reserves, because that would sort of pay into that. Instinct, of course, one of its in production bulletins is for infantry production, speeding up the training of grenadiers and panzer grenadiers. Forest is sweeping towards the centre, looking to secure that, which does mean he won't be putting quite as much effort into the resources. Depending on what Fortune does, that could allow him to basically sweep ahead of Forest, and of course Forest is hoping to disrupt Fortune's opening, and that would sort of slow things down. It seems to be what Forest is aiming for here, disrupt her opening as the Americans. You see those more as the Oberkommando vessels, actually the Brits, not so much as the Americans, but Forest here seems to be trying to buckle that trend and show that the Americans can do that just as well. They can be disruptive. Because that's certainly not what you get with the Americans or think of when you think Americans. Anyways, more on the way there for Forest. A bit of a Granate for Pioneers pursuing the riflemen as they're suppressed, but in this case quickly get unsuppressed. Same gun is one there for Fortune. And the German army. Deutsche Wehrmacht. Pioneers were closer with the riflemen, doing some damage with MP40s, riflemen taking losses there. The heavy cavalry somewhat help out, and the MP42 that would really help out. In the meanwhile, Grenadiers pushing for the centre there, they'll find some of the houses have been wired off, making it harder there for them to enter and exit. Ralph's got actually falls back here. Tiny chance of a wipe, though the terrain should overall help out the retreat there of poor Joe. Oh, really close there, really close. They might try and get off a finishing shot there on the rifleman if they can't sort of get that off. Of course, everything's going to be worth it, but no, Joe makes it despite all the efforts of Fortune and the German army. Joe survives, though he's probably going to need a trip to the medic's office and have a lot of bullets taken out of his posterior. Riflemen suppressed, Rears then getting the Grenadiers to the retreat. We got a 3rd Grenadier squad on the way there for Fortune and the 2nd Panzer Division. Forest sticking to 2 riflemen and the mortar so far. We'll probably aim for a 3rd one soon enough. There's also a theoretical fast lieutenant, but he's off some time in fuel because again he's been focusing so much on the disruptive element. He's not going to be able to secure fuel for himself, though he has been able to prevent Fortune from getting too much fuel either. So there you go, 3rd Rifle Squad. But it does mean Forest can't immediately take advantage of the initial pressure he's got to fill up as, you know, something with a bit more firepower here versus Fortune. We'll have to see how this works out. Rifling getting the Grenadiers up close here. Getting some hits in there, mortar just sort of hanging back a bit. Can't I think quite in the Fortune. That's a good likelihood there. Yep, losing the race and scored. Torn apart. Oh, he got the machine gun active with the mortar. Never mind me though, Fortune can recruit that, but it does mean he's going to have to pull back his only full strength Grenadier squad from the front line. I mean, he still has to weaken himself somewhat to make this happen. Forest, I think, needs to begin exert pressure up here because already now is falling behind Fortune and fuel quite critically. Meanwhile though, Fortune aiming for a 4th Grenadier squad could indicate a tier 2 rush, or tier 3 actually specifically. Might also open up for some G2 with Jaeger Infantry. I mean, obviously ambush training and G43s would work quite well with that. Joint operations, the officer could also work out. Mobile defense doesn't quite offer as many, though, so there's also counter-attack tactics, but I don't think that's what Fortune's going to be aiming for. I mean, if you go for that many Grenadiers, you're more likely just going to try and push for Jaeger Infantry and get a ton of G43s out, and that way beginning you're going to really putting the jackboot down on those Yankees. But first, got a medic bunker up there, a lot of troops in need of healing. And in the meanwhile, Forest just going to take advantage to just push ahead as fast as possible. He's also going here for riflemen or infantry squads. So we got 4 infantry squads plus 4 infantry squads. One side supported by a single MD42, the other side supported by a single mortar. So that creates some interesting dynamics there. In some ways, Forest will have the advantage and he just has more raw firepower. Of course, Fortune has a bit more maneuver here with MG42, plus he does have an additional Pioneer squad. But so far, the full rest is just sweeping here. We got Fortune, this is creeping to the very far side using a depleted Grenadier squad, just trying to sort of gobble up some terrain there. So fighting happening all over the place right now as the MG42 trying to figure out where they want to go, and instead, oh, they barely avoid getting suppressed at the MG42 and should be able to do the MG42 since that's out in the open there in heavy cover. Pioneers rank to support, going to putting down here rather than taking minor losses. They've still got the mortar up at the fuel point. So Fortune are trying to push through the centre more or less with a lot of raw force. Not enough supporting elements, I fear, perhaps. And the Grenadiers, of course, on the far right flank finally retreating as Fortress is finally gaining his eastern fuel point. And there you go, MG42 pushed back. Small chance of a wipe there, small but not happening. So soon Fortress is actually going to... Oh, he ends up retreating here. Does not stick around. He gets a bit scared and pulls off right before he can actually get the fuel point. Fortune is taking up here, and Fortress is also pulling ahead here with the platoon command post and the lieutenant. So he's now got more force out in the field here compared to Fortune. At least sort of more combat-able arms. I mean, there's the Pioneer squad, obviously, in that sense there's a bit of parity, but the Pioneers obviously are not a lieutenant with B.A.R.S. and Thompson. So that leaves possibly a sticky situation for Fortune since he's now starting to get the fuel up. We got telemines down here. Interesting setup there by Fortune. Very interesting setup. Kind of these imports sitting out there, troops reinforcing healing, Pioneers retreating, they'll probably send what they like to make a nice company. Trying to get that fuel point is forced to support the other Grenadier squad here. I mean, in this situation, mobile defense and counter-attack tactics could at least allow them to regain some territory fast. And there you go, got the Jaeger command squad out. Basically the Wehrmacht, I suppose, equivalent of the lieutenant. Basically a slightly above notch infantry squad. In this case, they're much more so than lieutenant because you actually get a 5-man squad compared to the regular 4-man, and G33s on top plus some extra abilities there. So quite a handy one here. Certainly in this situation, I can understand why Fortune would want that. He's certainly on the back foot. His opponent's got a lot of infantry out, and the Jaeger command squad is just sort of a fast and cheap way, in a sense, to just sort of try and fight all of this. The lieutenant, though, is rushing off the flank of the MG42 as it tries to deal with some riflemen there. We got the Jaeger command squad open, the lieutenant out in the open. He's taking quite some damage there, going to retreating. Does not want to lose that one, obviously, for very, very painfully clear reasons. But there you go, Jaeger command squad close to doing heavy damage to the lieutenant. And there we go, lieutenant pushed away. Quite a bit of damage there. Bit of an unfortunate engagement there for Fortress, but ultimately though he's holding ground, he's holding fuel. And this is where things could get obviously very sticky for Fortune. We'll have to see if he tries to push for tier 3 instead. If just, going for tier 2, they like to make a nice company, he might feel like he just sort of get away with it. But if his opponent just decides to hit with light tanks or light vehicles, it could be in a sticky spot. Got a sprint here, trying to perhaps predict where the mortar run's going on and just pull up and stay up close here. Bit of risky manoeuvre, but certainly I think tactically one of the better options you could do. The other one would have been retreating on the spot. Ooh, forced retreat, then forcing up. They had a pretty awkward spot. Finally got the fuel point back again here. Like to make a nice company up for Germany. And he lost the Jaeger command squad and retreated to a rifle squad that was sort of sneaking about there. Well played before us, and of course punishing Fortune there for sticking about with the Jaeger command squad for too long. And of course, again, had it paid off, it would have been great, but sadly didn't quite pay off there for Fortune. Such are the fortunes of war. But there you go, Ralph in a bit of trouble here, taking a lot of damage. There's a good chance of what. There we go, getting vengeance for the Jaeger command squad, though not quite the same level of sort of manpower that he gained from that, but there's still a hit there on Fortress. Lieutenant being pushed back. Mortar is actually quite explosive. Might be able to push, but Fortress pushing there for the anti-aircraft half track. The rifle grenade flies through the air and doesn't actually do anything as Geo goes down to a bullet in the back rather than anything else. Fortune pulling for 2-2. He wants something more motorized. to sort of try and, you know, contain forwards a bit, give him some mobility there. He's going to need another one, I think, to have a better chance versus the anti-aircraft traffic, unless he can bait it into the telemine in the east. If he can do that, that'd be pretty good for Fortune, though. That'd be pretty good, and that, I think, would be a sort of a major swing in the battle if he can achieve that. Rifleman setting out there. And then we've got the 2-2 out here for Fortune. Rifleman quickly kicking in the church to the door, occupying positions and opening up on any crowds. That's a really bad spot for them, Fortune. The negative cover, middle of the road, right in front of a house. It's pretty more difficult to find a more bad position for the machine gun than that. Imagining we got some G for the fuse going up somewhere. There's none I can see. And there you go, Rifleman there. Ooh, get off and then take Rifleman on the 2-2. That's really bad news there for Fortune. If the anti-aircraft half-tech catches up with it, he's got no anti-tank support. He's actually moving ahead now. He might be forced to go for the Pack 40. And there you go. Panzerfaust successfully drives away the anti-aircraft half-track. Bit of ballsy play there by Fortune. Could easily backfired on him, but in this case, slightly pays off. Those 2-2 is a really bad spot. Will he be going for the Pack 40? Will he be going for a Panzer Grenadiers? Will he try for another Jaeger command squad? Watch and find out, dear viewers. There he goes. He's going for the second 2-2. If he can get the first one repaired, obviously, the group should A, be able to deal with anti-aircraft half-tech, plus allow him sort of a very sort of small motorized group that can actually gain him local superiority. I mean, he did actually push back full rest to his base if utilized correctly. Like, I think people tend to underestimate how useful a pair of 2-2s can be. It's a bit expensive, but in particular on a larger map like Arnhem Checkpoint, where they can sort of use their speed and mobility much more readily, I mean, it can actually be a reasonably good combination. So, I like this move by Fortune personally. It has risks, but I do personally know how good a pair of 2-2s can actually be. They also have a good chance of wiping out stuff in retreat if you sort of get things going as well. Turning up his round to catch the Lieutenant. Oh! There we go. Aircraft Grenadiers, they're avoiding the incendiary on his rounds, but there's a small chance of a wipe. Small, but not sufficiently big enough. Other 2-2 moving in there. Not the way he's moving it, by the way. He's clearly trying to sort of get up in front of the 2-2. Or the anti-attack half-track, to that way sort of get into its blind spot and be able to do a lot of damage. If you first get into the blind spot, the anti-aircraft type's going to have a really hard time there dealing with the 2-2-2. Second 2-2 moving in here. There we go. Ooh, nice block there by him. Basically preventing the 2-2 from getting in front. We still got the other one around and almost got it. So close though, so close. And he gets it. But he gets anti-tank rifle grenaded. Still destroying that one and only losing a single 2-2 is still a reasonably good trade-off there for Fortune. Would have been preferable, obviously, if the 2-2 had not been lost, but he still got one. Got 50 caliber out here for 4 reds. It's going to make it harder there for Fortune to use his infantry and, of course, a scout car. Just need to get that fixed up, then he can actually begin threatening the mortar and other things. Got a mortar. No, he counts it for a Pack 40. He's a bit worried here that 4's going to pull ahead there in terms of tanks. Not a bad assumption to make. I mean, 4 has been holding a lot more of the map for longer, so definitely understand. Also got ambush camouflage up here for the MG42. Very good. Giving it a bit of a boost there in firepower when it appears out of nowhere. For the Americans, that is. Not entirely sure what he's planning there, though. I think he's trying to clear out the 50 caliber. As soon as his 2-2 gets fixed, he gets another damaged engine. Rather than taking heavy fire from the 2-2, the Pioneers and the Grenadiers forcing retreat, but the MG42 has to fall back. That was a tactically bad call there by Fortune. I can sort of understand what you did, but I think there's too many risks involved, so I'd have to make that, consider that a bad call there. We turned in with MG42 almost wiping out, then retreat. 9 kills already, good stuff. MG42 makes it, but it is incredibly close it didn't make it. And we also got find some harassment from Fortune. Some grenadiers moving up. Noting none of his grenadiers actually been upgraded with any G43s in the light machine guns, which could have been helpful here versus some of Paul Rose's troops. Paul Rose by the way is taking up, and there we go. We got a second Jaeger command squad out here for Fortune, offering some fresh pressure there for Fortune. A 5th infantry squad, which would actually now definitely give him an infantry advantage over Forres. And again, I mean, just for sheer cost, it's just really good value if you know how to use it. There we go, major out for Forres. There's still some time before he can call in any tanks. He's definitely guaranteed to have tanks out before Fortune. Particularly since he's rationing fuel there, though Fortune is doing the same now. But overall, good pressure in there from Forres. Good hit of the fuel. Going here for the 50 caliber. Need to be careful about that. They can use, in fact, as bait to allow the infantry to get close. Very good work here. Very good work. Smoke grenade here could be useful, but it's a bit too late there. And the fast gun is just the major as he tries to deal with that crowd disturbance. There you go. The over maneuver force the 50 caliber away, opening up to the centre here for Fortune and the 2nd Panzer Division. Major wiped out a small victory there tactically for Fortune. He almost got the 50 caliber. He got it wiped. The Aegis could maybe go down there and actually seize it. That'd be pretty good there for Fortune. That deny Forres an infantry weapon. Of course, allow more weapons to sort of hold ground here, but there he goes, rising for it. He's rising for it to continue to the base there. He's trying to get the ambulance. He's making a base race simply for the ambulance. No rifle grenade here, which would allow him to wipe it, maybe. Sadly, bit slow, I think, for Fortune. I think he should have rushed the Jaeger command squad down the track to seize it. So that was less good. Though he looks to be trying to get in the mortar wiped at least. Those it just reinforces too fast. So overall there, Fortune I think missed a few opportunities. Had he just focused on the 50 caliber, they could have seized that at least, but instead he got greedy, tried to grab it and go for the ambulance, scattering his forces too thinly and causing him a 2-2-2 without really gaining as much there. So that was not the best maneuver there. Pioneers being engaged with the rifle up here, troops reinforcing, healing, and no take up yet for Fortune, the German army. Before lining up there, ready to unleash 7 flavors of hell if needed. Similar with the Jaeger command squad here. They really should put some more pressure on the field point on West and regain it. That would probably be a good time to open up with MG42. There you go. He's about to unleash hell. And there we go. Ambush and incendiary armor piercing rounds. 50 caliber setting up. They're taking now hits from the veteran 3 MG42 with incendiary armor piercing rounds. Heavy damage being inflicted in a matter of seconds. It is just going through that 50 caliber crew like a hot knife through butter. I mean, just look at that. Look at that. The 50 caliber is getting wiped. One of the very few times I've seen a 50 caliber, an MG42, I mean, wipe something so fast. But that much veterancy and incendiary armor piercing rounds can do a lot of damage. I do think people tend to underestimate how useful and I would almost say important the incendiary armor piercing round ability is for the MG42. So good work there by Fortune. Good work. There's good work though, still this work on actually getting fuel out. You really need to work better on that. But there you go, we got take up for Fortune, we got take up for the German army. 2nd Panzer Division were finally able to bring up some panzers as the 1th Infantry continues its relentless assaults against Germany. And there you go, ambush here with the veteran 3 again. Rifleman there taking heavy damage, even as the cover is sort of slightly held up there. Cover shattered by the Pak 40, then suppressed again, and there we go. Then out into no cover. And they're going to send the arm rounds again. 50 caliber sending out. They can the MG42 repeat the trick. And there we go. It does it again. Just holy smokes. This is how an MG42 should be. My God, Jürgen. It's like they want to die. Yeah, well, they are Americans. Have you seen the die? It's kind of like they actually want to. And his troops are healing and enforcing. Whoa, he's going for tier 4. What the devil? And meanwhile, Forres here bringing up the Shermans. the Freedom Tanks. Let's go into firing off the riflery in the far east. Pack 4, they're getting mortared. Machine gun, there's final precision. Oh! No, retreated! Retreat these noble heroes of Germany, Fortune. You cannot let them die. Yeah, command squad, they're rushing ahead. And finally got some light machine guns up, and the grenadiers increasing their firepower notably. Very good work there. But tier 4, and considering the situation and how far it's behind, I feel that's a pretty ballsy move there by Fortune. Pretty ballsy. If not too ballsy. We'll have to see how that works out. Oh, I lost another Jaeger command squad, this time onto the M4A3 Sherman. Heavy Panzer Corps going up there. And if he's planning a Panther, which he has to because he's only got a pack 40 and little else, I mean, the overall fuel situation again, which is rather incredibly slow to rectify, means it's going to take him quite some time before he can call in any Panther. In the current circumstances, we are looking at somewhere within, well, close now to the 10-minute mark. Somewhere around there before he can call in a Panther. And again, that's partly because he wasn't focusing enough here. They did get the mortar finally, and he's called in a third Jaeger command squad. I lost the mortar just as recruited, though it did get destroyed. Got the pack 4 setting up the Panzerabwehrkanone 40. Or rather, in some ways, innovative anti-tank gun. In fact, it was probably the lightest anti-tank gun in this sort of weight class, with 75mm there, since most others were much heavier and actually couldn't be moved around by infantry. But this one could, because they did a little trick with the gun shield, or rather just one big slab of armour. It was two thinner sheets of metal that sort of helped deflect the shots off through it. That made the Pack 40 lighter compared to the other anti-tank guns. And you might also notice it wasn't particularly good at covering the crew. But there you go, big push here for Forrest, swarming forts, forcing back Fortune. He's getting slightly more fuel now, but it's still going to take him at least about 5 minutes from consider Panther. Fixing up the Sherman there. He's doing some emergency repairs so he can just get out of there. I think that's the right decision. Otherwise, he might risk getting shot to bits there. More rifle Forest. Still no doctrine. I mean, you could easily benefit from anything like Rifle Company. You could have an easy out by now, which would certainly be more impactful. You could go heavy cavalry, call in Rangers that tear apart Fortune's infantry, smoke, combined arms, infantry company for brine light machine guns, mines. I mean, it really feels a bit, on the other hand, like a really strategically weak choice there before us not to choose a doctrine. Smoke screen down here. Ooh. I see what he's doing there. This is clever. Basically, what he's trying to do is avoid the Shem murdering him until he can get close enough there to Panzerfaust. There you go. Then as soon as the Panzerfaust is ready, sprints through the smoke and Panzerfaust the Sherman. Clever. Clever. Apparently Forrest did not take too keen on German tactics. Goddamn Krauts! Stop! Hiding in the smoke! Using tactics! Oh no! He thought he spawned. They can't be spawned. This was Fortune just waiting in the right place at the right time. And as the G-Man in Half-Life 2 likes to say, that makes all the difference in the world. In this case, the right German with the right set of weapons. Oh dear, Pack 40 in this court there. Pushing back the Pack 40. He still doesn't turn away from the Panther. It helps that the Forrest is a bit weak then handling his armour. Also, he's floating a metric sock ton of munitions. Like, he'd be going for so many BARs or brown light machine guns or mines. Like, there's so much there that Forrest could be doing, but he's just floating so much munitions. That is definitely strategically ill-conceived. Maybe something needs to work on there, because he's just handing Fortune some huge advantages by not fully utilising his resources for that. Comparatively, Fortune is much sharper in utilising his munitions, as we saw here. So I definitely feel like Forrest needs to get, you know, the munitions flowing there against Fortune. And more than just a 50 caliber, he needs to upgrade the rifle, at least get them grenades here. Like, just flooding that much munitions without doing anything with it is just flawed. And going to Fortune. They didn't even stand a chance. Alright, guys, watch out for Germans. Oh goodness, that was an expert use of ambush camouflage, by the way. That was expert use of it. Nerves of steel and everything, just waiting for them to be right close, right in front of the machine gun, incendiary piercing rounds and everything, and just let loose. That was impressive. Less impressive than this 4S floating 500 munitions. He goes for the Sturmpanzer though. I don't think I agree with that assessment, but considering I suppose how he's playing so far, that his 4S not putting enough pressure, I guess he can get away with it, but I'd personally go for a Panther. Then again, personally, I'd be going for the Zapoma core and not the Heavy Panzer core. He's been engaged to steal the BAR from the very, very dead corpse of the lieutenant. Incendiary MG4 sitting up there. 25 kills. Really trying to catch the rifleman there. Not quite succeeding. Pair 4 they're getting wiped out. Got the Sturmpanzer sitting out there for Fortune. A curious choice though. Curious choice. But still, he's got most of the map. But again, he just isn't using it very efficiently. Need to retreat those rifles or they get annihilated by the Grenadiers there with the light machine gun. So what will Forrest do besides apparently not using his munitions? Weapon X? Nope. Upgrades? Nope. Doctrine? No. It certainly feels like a bit of a slip up there by Forrest. Sherman Panzer fires for the second time, damaged engine. Sturmpanzer arrives, shoots, and kills, I think, one. No, doesn't even kill anyone. MD4 on the hand seems to be doing all the work again here for Germany. So what is Forrest gonna do? Really though, he needs to choose a doctrine and get some of this from going. I mean, again, he could have laid down a lot of mines. Lost the lieutenant here to the Sturmpanzer. Good work by Fortune. He really wants the MD42 dead for, well, very obvious reasons. That MD42 has done a lot of harm there to Forrest by now. Yeah, command squad setting up there for an ambush again. Note how he sort of definitely waits for them to get in within close enough range and then up there to maximise the effect of the ambush ability. In this case, the Vetchi Fee Rifle almost able to just fight it off, so it doesn't really end up making much of a difference. Scott on the way there for 4 is an interesting choice considering there's a Sturmpanzer out in the field. You'd think you'd go for a counter to that, or just more tanks. So that feels a bit of a strange choice there, and there we go, he counters it. Taking out the Sherman as quickly as possible. He should actually just do emergency repairs because Fortune's coming after it with everything he's got. There you go. Almost got the 50 caliber machine gun there. Rifle pulling ahead. Scott on the way. Oh, he might be making a small mistake here. The question is, can full rest punish him for it? Full rest punish him for it. Nope. Too bit slow there. Scott again. He can't seem to make up his mind if he wants it or not. And he's got 700 munitions. Come on, Forrest. Get some upgrades, some doctoral choices, anything. It's not healthy to be flooding 700 munitions. I mean, you can have so many BARs out, bazookas, mines, light machine guns. You'd be calling a lot of artillery, flares. You could be popping combined arms like it's candy. And this is just deeply inefficient. Which I guess is the American way, but it's certainly a bit worrisome there. We're approaching 800 munitions. Come on, Forrest. This can't be right. And he finally hits the Tellermine. Panzer going to do it for fortune. 50 cover there, getting bombarded by the Sturm Panzer. Using the bombardment ability there, by the way. Bunker busting barrage. There you go. Jackson tank destroyer out. Going for the Sturm Panzer. Rather than moving in there, we'll probably use them to clear out the Pack 40. He does need to be careful with the Jackson. And then the Sturm punching down to half health, and they're going to tank rifle grenade to make it a bit hard for it to escape, and also just falls a bit further over the field. But good hit and return for the Sturm Panzer. Leaves most of the riflemen quite dead in the streets. Dead riflemen in the streets, even deader riflemen in the sheets. Tried here to trick them out to a bang grenade, but Forrest didn't take the bait, or he wasn't paying attention. Sherman not fully prepared, he's setting out for the damage engine. Oh no. So there you have to go out and fix the last bit there. Rushing the Jackson off the Sturm Panzer, almost got it there. Pretty close though. If you had the Sherman, they maybe would be able to lay down some smoke or something else, but woo, he actually got away with it. And can actually send the Sherman to finish it off. If he just gets it going. Also needs to retreat those riflemen. I was trying to get away with the Jackson without getting destroyed. And he's still floating now. 800 munitions. Come on, Forrest. He also has it at firing high explosive rounds. I mean, he can't really realistically hope to damage this Sturm Panzer. Ah, Forrest. There you go. Switching over to armor piercing rounds. Inside the enemy base. Got it. Fortunately, they can now begin going for a Panther, though he's floating a bit more manpower, which I'm comfortable with. At least just getting some Panther, and there's more caches. Really a lot of things I thought we'd be doing. So that feels also less efficient. Just lay down the smoke screen here. Could use heavy cavalry, could just use the Sherman. Just lay down some smoke and get some upgrades. He's going to lose it, I think. He's just not doing enough. And there you go, Fortune going for the Panther, the Panzer Kampfwagen 5. And another Sherman goes down to the Jaeger command squad. Pretty sure they're going to get a Panzernacker badge for that one. So Otto, how many Shermans have you taken down now? 2. Not more? 9. Just 2. It just feels like more. Well, you know, it's the Americans. They all look the same. Pioneers Riflemen sweeping forwards. Jackson moving about. Finally! Finally! After 34 minutes, 833 munitions, does he go for weapon racks? Good Lord Almighty. He could have really swung this game around much harder had he just did BARs that much. And he doesn't get them. Get them, Forrest. The BARs. No. Going for another Sherman. He's gone for heavy cavalry bars. He could begin laying down mines, which wouldn't be a bad idea either. He just get the weapons. And lay down mines. Just do something with the munitions. Please. Oh, we got Fortune's Panther out. He's going for a half-tech pin. Nope, cancel it for a mortar instead. Machine gun on the way for the Panther. The Panzerkampfwagen 5. Need to get that Jackson out of there. It's in a slightly awkward spot. They're going to lose Panther 5. There you go. That was basically what he was waiting for there. The Panther gets hit on it. Panther Faust leading the Jackson able to actually get out of there. It could pop 8 rounds for increased damage. The problem is, this situation is just too weak now. That was some really weak handling there before us. And there you go. MG42, Incendiary Arms, ambush bonus. Just tearing apart the rifleman in a matter of seconds again. 30 kills. It's incredible how much you can do once it is veteran feet, and then you combine it with the Incendiary Films and the ambush bonus card, which of course is a lot of things at the same time, but good lord, it's still impressive to see every single time.
A medium tank was just lost. Enemy forces have 300 points.
Troops healing, reinforcing. Still not grabbing any of those BAR. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Took him long enough. Got Panther's there with ambush camouflage, ready to unleash hell at a very flavorful range as well. Panther on the way there for Fortune. It really should lay down mines, since they can A, catch up the infantry, but also the Panther. They can immobilize the Panther. I mean, that's pretty good there, so he really should lay down some mines. He needs to be careful with the Sherman. I mean, how many Shermans end up losing because they got them Panzer Faust in a really bad spot? And the enemy just, caught down and knocked it out. There you go, finally. Some weapons up there for one of the infantry division, pushing it, but there you go. Veteran the MD42 there, once more ready to ruin the day for America. I'm going to change the Panther there, with machine guns blasting away. Pioneers being slightly pulled back, got the Sherman in there. You should probably just lay down smoke and fall back here, to be honest. Get that Sherman out of there. Obviously he went for second ambulance. I think he might have forgotten he already had one. I'm starting to suspect Forrest might have gotten a bit frazzled there. Then again, some of the things he has said might indicate he got a bit frazzled much earlier. But certainly a bit worrisome. He needs to fall back with the 5th caliber there. It's getting swarmed by Germans. We got the Panther barrage off as well. Obliterating the 5th caliber in retreat and the house. And rather than getting past the Pack 40 and the mortar could wipe them. There we go with WS. There we go. Gets the Pack 40. A tactical victory there for Forrest, but can he actually utilise for anything bigger? More BARs up there for the rifleman. Again, finally. And 2 ambulances. Running off with the Pack 40 because he needs more anti-tank firepower as the Panther. He could consider some Rangers. I mean, a Ranger squad with a lot of Thompson, maybe an extra bazooka there, could do a lot of damage to Fortune in the right places. I mean, he can sweep away Fortune infantry. The Panther would be a lot weaker. Of course, he still has to be wary of the MG42. The Buzzsaw. So there you go. All rifle squads now with double BRs, and he still has plenty of munitions to spare. And that's just how much munitions he had. He can upgrade every infantry squad he has with double BARs and still have almost 400 munitions to go. Sherman got 7 kills, not bad. Rifle knows the Panzer Grenadiers. In this case, the rifle squad got wiped out. Ambush, they're having a bit of impact. I imagine maybe a bomb grenade. Quite a loss there though for Forrest at this stage of the fight. There we go, Rangers finally arriving. Chile called in the Fortune. And the 2nd Panzer Division. On the Pack 40. Got a Panther barrage off as well. Really trying to kill that Pack 40 though. He's really trying to kill it. That is for sure. Yeah, command squad, there you go. Oh, he's going to do it again. He's going to do it again. Fortune, you madman. Any moment now. Alright, guys. I think the area's... Oh, God. This time, though, he's able to retreat in time. There's also a bit more distance there. Fortune, who seems to be rushing over there with his Panther, anticipating the Sherman's movements and retreating forward to a slightly safer spot. In theory, they accept it could collapse on them, killing the entire machine gun crew. But there you go, Panther flanks, catch the Sherman off guard here. Fortune seeing through Forrest like he's a book made out of glass. Then we got the Pack 40 supporting the Sherman versus the Panther. Panther taking a few hits, closing eventually 2, shot bounced. Because he's once more using high explosive rounds. Panthers, be careful there. Oh, dear. There's a good likelihood of losing Grenadiers are rushing in. Almost got the Panther. And didn't get it. Maybe if he hadn't used high close rounds, then should have switched to armor piercing sooner. Ranging through there. Rangers are grabbing the far northern fuel point. They need to connect the fuel point there for it to matter. And he's also losing the other fuel point. It seems like Forrest at this point is just getting the thought he might just want to go for a Pershing. And meanwhile, Fortune seems to be setting up there for a 2nd Panther, which would certainly give him the armoured advantage, I think, quite aggressively. You could also consider using smoke, and of course, when his tanks is with the infantry, using combined arms. It's a really good ability. It gets so absolutely overlooked by a lot of players, but it's really good. In particular, when timed correctly, you can do a ton of damage very fast. Tried to bait him out into the grenade, that did not work. Got Grenadiers in the north, south, and we got Panthers in the north. But it's enough, he's not upgrade the Panther with an additional machine gun, which really would benefit the Panther. 40, Sherman up there, direct hit there, gaining veteran to 1, opening up the target weak point. Panzer fast the Sherman. Jaegers did tank for the rifle, need support. Pack 40 moving up, Panther pulling away, less than half health there. Panzer going to be charging in. Close way 2, they're having used tactical movement there, the sprint to get close. Very good work there by Fortune. More Rangers. As he steals some time off from the Pershing. Now the Panther over barrage here from Fortune. Oh, jeez! Almost got the entire vehicle and can reinforce it to get it back, and you get the Sherman back in order without actually, get another unit for it. But that's still pretty rough. And he still hasn't connected the western fuel, so he still can't easily go for the Pershing, since he's still getting very little fuel in comparison. Fortune is actually now within range to get a 2nd Panther and just, pull for a actual armor advantage. Quickly avoiding the veteran for the MD42, but immediately gets suppressed. 35 kills. That's probably one of the best MD42s I have seen in some time. Veteran 3 and 35 kills. That is one hell of an MG42. There you go, the gut range is flanking. Need to trick the rifle, and there we go, gets them away. Finally connecting at least the western fuel. Grenade off. Not the best time grenade, to be honest. Needs to retreat. Mines could still be beneficial, but also again, as just setting up for combined arms push with this Sherman and some infantry. Maybe the Pershing can get out in time, and this was just really that way trying to, you know, push through Fortune with a good flank maybe. Fortune probably would benefit from another Panther, but at this stage might not even need it. But there you go, straight into the Pack 40 and the Sherman. Rifle though, ooh, damaged engine, but Rifle got wiped. No target weak point though. Missed opportunity there versus the Panther, though almost taking it out. There we go, does go for it, but it's much too late at this point, to be honest. You'd have been much faster there. Bit slow reaction from Forrest. Allows Fortune's Panther to get away. Had been able to stop it up right from the Pack 40, that would have been a win there for Forrest, since the Pack 40 could have tear through the Panther easily. Then. So that was lucky there for Fortune, that Forrest was just too slow on the target weak point finger. He runs that, Panther did. Obviously he's going to try and flank with the Sherman, not bad. He could combine it with a combined arm just to increase the Sherman's chance of action. You know. Ah, he keeps forgetting about high explosive rounds. There's no way he can take on a Panther with high explosive rounds. This is not going well for 4S. He is closer to the Pershing now, he is getting there. But it is rather late. Got the Pack 40. Troop ceiling reinforcing. Quick grenade. Almost managed to run into it himself. Fortune Bar would benefit actually from a second Pioneer Squad. He's only got one Pioneer Squad to repair his Panther. That is much too few Pioneers. Not too few. Anyways, you get the point. 30 kills in the Jaeger Command Squad. Jaeger Command Squad pushed back. Sherman going there for the remote Panther Grenadier Squad. And there goes second Panther out for Fortune. You might be saying there's going to be a Pershing on the way, in which case he kind of wants another Panther just to have a better chance there. Smokes in the right place, I think, has shown a lot of good in trying to survive this. We've got the Pack 4 getting in there. Set up target weak point. There we go, this time it's got it. And there we go. Stunned, but gets beyond the range of the Pack 40. Doesn't quite pursue fast enough. There we go, got Panther with a fire on it. Pershing those moments away and doesn't quite get the Pack 40. But he can get the Pershing out here. 100th Infantry Division getting support there from the 3rd Armoured. Sherman flanking in there. He might. He gets the Panther there. For the high explosive rounds can at least take that out, but obviously it's going to be useless versus the Panther. And there you go. Pack 40 lights it on fire like a Roman candle, leaving Forrest now with only a Pershing versus 2 Panthers, whereas one of them is close to Veterancy 3. No minus 5 from Forrest. 50 points left for Fortune, 50 or so fought back for Forrest. Again, this is a situation despite again having floated a ludicrous amount of munitions. It still ends up being this close. 39 left there. Fortune could still end up realistically losing to this, which is certainly a bit worrisome. He could also mind up some of the points as well. S-mines or bankers down there. So a bit of resource blows there from Fortune as well. Panzer squad number 2 on the way there. There you go. Person engaged by the Panther. Got to send in the other one, I imagine. Pack 40 opening up, bouncing off the Panther's frontal armour. And there you go. Target weak point. Trying to use the Panther to kill them, but he's not allowing it at the same time to shoot the infantry very efficiently. There we go. Got the Pershing there with the Panthers. There you go. GG, game over. Bit of a crazy fight here on Arnhem Checkpoint. I think the true hero was in this case the MG42 with ambush, and it sent the other piercing rounds. That thing killed so many things. It's just wiped entire units, consumed them. Certainly highlighting that an MG42 well handled can be quite the foe. I do feel like Fortune got somewhat lucky getting full rest. It's just huge munitions flood. Had he pushed harder with that, I don't think Fortune would be able to easily go for those Panthers. I would have been punished for it instead of just going for support, of course. So there was some definite luck. They also, Forrest made some mistakes with his tanks at times, didn't support them well enough, and also much too late doctoral choice, and also the reels, good usage of it. So definitely a lot of things there Forrest could have done better, but even then, he was pretty close to winning. Like, just highlighting a bit there. Fortune, good play, but again, there were some issues there, and could certainly also lay down more mines, could have flanked more times as well. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match though. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, tell a friend, share it with everyone. Also, big thanks to Harrison and Dion for donating and supporting the Propagandacast. A big round of applause to them. Clap, clap. And of course, if you'd like to support the Propagandacast and allow me to keep doing what I do day after day, do consider donating or pledging on Patreon yourself. Links are in the video description. This is Imperial saying cheers, thank you for watching. Hope you see you tomorrow for another exciting episode. Bye.